Hello, welcome to the Learning Tree Reading Fairs, day 2 of reading, and I'm Meredith McGee here in Jackson, Mississippi. Vicky, Vicky, you introduce yourself?
No, I haven't, because it's a frame above me. On me, it said the meeting is being recorded, and you can't see my face. So, yes,
Yeah,
I am.
yeah, we can see you. We can see you.
Huh?
We can see you.
You can see me? Okay, I can't see me, but okay. Yes, I am Vicki Jenkins, a member of the Reading Club, uh, and I am also in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay, so you want to go first or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay, so, okay, do you see this? I got this one off our bookshelf, Learning Tree Book Club bookshelf yesterday. As Brave as You by Jason Reynolds. And I was laughing the first few pages, I read 6 pages, and I was laughing about them being at their grandparents' house, I think in North Carolina, scooping up poop, dog poop, on their grandparents' farm. That was so funny. And they was the one of them was throwing it this way, trying to get the other one to throw it, and they threw it backwards and hit the grandmama's window, and that's as far as I get. Okay, so the boys had arrived 2 nights earlier after a long, cramped ride in the back of their dad's old Honda. Cramped at least for Jenny, because Ernie, in a cheeseburger coma, had stretched out on the back seat as if it were his own personal couch, forcing Jenny to be smushed against the window for most of the trip. So Ernie must be the big brother. Okay. Jenny had thought about playing Pete and repeat by mimicking Ernie's nasty snores, but then he realized it wouldn't matter because Ernie wasn't awake to get annoyed by it anyway. And that was the whole point of that game. So, to take his mind off the discomfort of being trapped under Ernie's leg, stewing in the thick silence between his folks who had managed to not talk to each other for the past 4 hours, Jennings flipped through pages of his notebook where he kept his best questions. Some had already been answered, and some were still mysteries. He landed on one that had totally forgotten about. Do honey badgers eat honey? Then tried telling his parents about how he read on the internet that honey badgers actually do eat honey, and how many of them have been stung to death by bees because they wanted honey from the hive so bad. The toughest, craziest animal ever. They're like weasels or something, but tougher. Know what I'm saying? Like they're small, but they ain't scared to get busy, even on dimes. Jenny had rambled. So this is all new to me. I never heard of honey badger. You from Cleveland, Mississippi? You ever heard of a honey badger?
No, I have not. I'm from north of Cleveland, but I have not heard of a honey. I have not heard of a honey badger. No, I have not.
Okay. Okay, so why he cared about them in the first place never stopped him from offering up random information on random times. That was sort of his thing. He was different from Ernie in that way. Jenny was the kind of kid who kept a small, jacked up notebook and pen in his pocket, just so he could jot down interesting things whenever they came. The point was to keep a list, a numbered list of all the things he needed to Google, or he'd like to Google. Because to Jenny, the more questions you had, the more answers you could find. And the more answers you found, the more you knew. And the more you know, the less you make mistakes. Sounds logical. Jenny
Yeah, it
wasn't
does.
wasn't about mistakes. Ernie, on the other hand, was the kind of kid who wore sunglasses 24/7 just to make sure everybody knew he was cool. That's interesting. A lot of kids don't like to wear glasses. And to him, the biggest mistake anyone could make was not to be cool. So I guess, sunglasses, glasses. Oh, sunglasses, not glasses, sunglasses. Yeah, that is cool. I need to wear me some sunglasses so I can get cool too. As a matter of fact, one of the
Well,
only
now,
things,
if you get you some glasses that change colors that get darker, you can see and still be cool.
right, right. Okay, his shades was whatever he was uh doing karate, which he had been learning since he was 7. He was a brown belt, or as he put it, a junior black belt. Okay. Jenny loved to watch Ernest, Ernest matches and tournaments, but not quite as much as he loved to watch Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. So I'm getting to see the difference between Jenny and Ernest. Ernie, on the other hand, liked to watch girls. Jenny liked to build model cars. Ernie liked to watch girls. That was repeated. Okay. Boy, if you don't go to sleep, I'm a honey your badger. Ma had drowned from the front seat after Benny finished telling her about the video he'd seen of a honey badger actually taking on a lion. She was staring out the window and had been the entire time they'd been on the road. Jenny sucked his teeth. That was when Dad adjusted the rearview mirror so that he could see Jenny. Son, tell me something. He darted his exhausted looking eyes from the rearview back to road. How much you know about sloths? Sloths, Jenny thought for a moment. Well, I know they're lazy and they sleep all the time. He answered reluctantly, feeling the setup coming. Uh-huh, Dad said flat. He glanced back in the mirror. See where I'm going with this? Jenny sucked his teeth again. He knew exactly where Dad was going with it. Straight to Jenny. Please be quiet and go to sleep town. But Jenny didn't go straight to sleep, even though that was what his parents wanted. Okay, I'm gonna stop there and let you.
Okay, let me start on the A Time for Mercy, which is almost like A Time to Kill, but it's from John Grisham, A Time for Mercy. And it's also set in Clanton, as John Grisham always sets his books in Clanton, quote unquote, Canton. The unhappy, the unhappy little home out in the country, some 6 miles south of Clanton, in the old country road that had that was nowhere in particular in the house that could go, and it was accessed by the winding gravel road and stopped by the curved and night calls approach by the Padney Road and headlight by the sweep through the front window and doors of the those waiting inside, and accused of the home address to the manhunt in horror. It was a long time after midnight as the early Sunday when the headlights finally approached. They washed through the house and cast anonymous silent shadows on the walls, then went away. The car dipped before the final headlight approached. Those inside would have been asleep in hours as the hours finally approached. Those inside would have been asleep prior to the hours on the sofa in the den. Jose took a deep breath and said quick prayer and eased into the window and watched it. The waving lunch, wait, I can't even get that. And quick waving the window, I say, let me see. I'm sorry. Was not possible during the awful night, but sleep as the daylight approaches. On the sofa in the den, a deep sleep, quick prayer, and ease on the window to watch the car. Was it weaving, launching as usual, or was it under control? Was he drunk as always? On the nights, he could be throttled back. On the drinking, and were racing along the catch of the intention. And perhaps after the move from the violence to menace, she had warned before he had once liked it. The car stopped beside the house and she watched him as he watched him get out. He staggered and stumbled, and he braced himself on what was to come. She was on the kitchen where the lights were on, and she waited beside the door, partially hidden in the corner was an aluminum bat that had been belonged to her, and she had placed it there to an hour before earlier for protection in case he went after the kids. She had prayed for the courage to use it, but still had doubted. He fell against the kitchen door and then rattled on the knob as if it were locked. It was not. He finally kicked open the door and slammed it into the refrigerator. Stuart was sloppy, violent, drunk. His pale, Irish skin turned red. His cheeks were crimson and his eyes were glowed with a whiskey lit in front of his face, and he had seen so many times. At 34, he was a graying balding and tried to cover up with a bad comb over. after a night of bar hopping. Bad turnover as after a night of bar hopping. Left on the strands of the hanging below her ears. His face had no counter bruises. His face had no counter bruises. Perhaps a good sign, perhaps. He liked to fight. The hockey talk, liked to fight in the hockey talk, and had, after the rough night, he usually licked his wounds and went straight to bed. But there had been no fight. He often came home looking for a fight, looking for a brawl. The hell you're doing? He snarled as he tried to close the door behind him. He calmly, possibly Josie said, just waiting on you. Are you okay? I don't need you to wait on me. What time is it? 2 in the morning? She smiled sweetly after he was all well a week earlier. She had decided to go to bed and wait him out there. He came home late and went upstairs and threatened the children. About 2, she said softly. Let's go to bed. What are you wearing? That thing for you? What are you wearing that thing for you? You look like a real slut. Somebody had been here tonight. A common accusation in the days of not yet. Common accusation in the days. Of course not. She said, I am dressed ready to go to bed. You are a whore. Come on, Stu. Sleeping little. Let's go to bed. Who is he? Meredith?
That's Talianne coming in.
Oh, okay. Okay. Come on, sir. I'm sleeping.
Hey,
Let's go to
Talianne.
bed. Hi.
uh-huh. That's a girl.
I'll read a few more pages. Who is he? He growled as he fell back against the door. Who is who? There's no one. I've been here all by myself and the kids. You're lying, but you know that. I'm not lying, she says. Let's go to bed. It's late. I heard tonight that somebody saw John Albert's truck out there a couple of days ago. And who is John Albert? And who is John Albert? He asked. And who is John Albert? He asked, the little slut. You know darn well who John Albert is. He moved away from the door and took steps toward her unsteady. And he tried to bag himself with the counter. He pointed at her and said, you're a little whore. And you ought to go. You ought to go boyfriend hanging. You ought to go boyfriend hanging. I warned you. You ought to go boyfriend hanging, and I warned you. You're my one and only boyfriend. So I've told you 1,000 times. Why can't you believe me? Because you're a liar. I've
Vicky, what's
caught
the
you
name
lying.
of your book?
Huh?
What's the name of Time to What?
A time for mercy.
Okay.
I'll finish this page. You're my one and only. And because of the liar and I've caught you lying. Remember the credit card? Come on, Stu. That was last year, and we got through it. He laughed and grabbed her wrist with his left hand and swung out of her face and said he slipped across the jaw. And we're going to stop right there.
Okay. Charlie, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But today I'll be reading Mia. It's about, well, the author is by Dennis Lisa. This is wrote by a little girl. When she was little and she wrote this story. So I was probably like the first person who got the copy of it. On the first day of school, Denny met three friends, Sue, Sam, and Sarah. From that day, they all became best friends. We we are all in the best friends club, said Sue. Every day, Sam would bring snacks for the four of us, for the four of them to share. Every day when Dennis would get dropped off for school, she could barely wait for the car to stop to get running to get running to the playground with her friend. As they played on the playground, Sarah yelled out, we are all going to the upcoming talent show together." They all jumped for joy. Well, should we start practicing every day? We get to the playground. Sue replied. I love to sing, dance, and act, said Dennis. Well, Dennis, you should wear your hair straight like ours so it doesn't look so short, said Sarah. One day, Sarah bought snacks and she did not share it with Dennis. Sarah, Sam, and Sue ignored Dennis as she stood there. As Sarah held Sam and Sue's snacks, she said, you guys are my best friends. Dennis left very sad. What about me? Asked Dennis. Sarah replied. Oh, Dennis, don't be such a crybaby. I only had enough snacks for my best friends. Dennis then replied, but I thought we were all in the best friends club. Sarah replied, Dennis, why do you have some boys' overalls and why is your hair like that? That's all began to laugh and tease her. The bell rang and it was time to go home. Sarah bumped into Dennis, casting Dennis' books to fall. Why are you guys being so mean to me? Dennis yelled. Sarah, Sam, and Sue began to laugh. I am no longer a part of the best friends club because friend does not treat friends mean, Dennis yelled. When Dennis got home, she told her doll, Maddie, everything that happened at school today. You are my best friend, Maddie, said Dennis as she talked to her doll. Dennis was always happy playing with her doll. Maddie, your car seems to be broken. Let's get you running, said Dennis. Mom, can I stay home today? Dennis asked. Well, Dennis, why would you want to stay home? Asked Dennis' mom. Well, Sarah, Sam, and Sue hurt my feelings yesterday. and she went on to explain her day at school. Then his mom replied, "Baby, you are a shining star and let no dime your light. Remember Dr. Seuss quote, why fit in when you were born to stand out?" As she winked her eye, it's not their job to like you. That's your job. So keep your chin up, head held high, and protect your crown. You're a princess. You will walk, pray, and slay your day. Her mom explained. She began to tell Dennis not to allow others to treat her that way. Dennis, you will be going next week talent show, but yours by yourself. And I can't wait to see you rock the stage, baby, Dennis' mom said while giving her a big hug. The day has come for the talent show. Dennis got on stage and began to sing a heartfelt song that she had previously practiced with her dad. She grabbed the microphone off the mic and stand and sang her song like she had never sang it before. Her parents began to cheer on her. "Wow, she's awesome," said Sam, standing behind the stage. "But look at her hair," Sarah said. Sue replied, "I really like her hair." "So you just a bully," said Sue as they watched from backstage. Dennis came, Dennis came off stage into the crowd and back on the stage as she closed out her song. The crowd stood up and clapped and cheered out for excitement to hear this little girl sing like this. "Wow," Dennis' dad said out from a shock. "I'm so proud of my superstar," yelled Dennis' dad. Now the gym room was quiet because it was time to announce the winner of the talent show. One of the judges walked to the stage to read off the winning moon. "The winner of tonight's talent show goes to Demi," judge yelled out. Demi ran to the stage in excitement to receive her trophy. "I really won! I really won!" yelled Dennis is in excitement. Well, Dennis had another surprise. She thought only her mother and her dad were at the talent show, but all along her siblings were there too. They all ran to the stage and greet her and congratulate her on her performance as well as her winning with cheer. Dennis has a very supportive family that really made Dennis' day. Sue and Sam walked over to Dennis to first apologize for how they were treating her. Dennis went, "Dennis, we would like to truthfully apologize for the meanest things we said to you," said Sue. Yeah, and I would also like to apologize for not sharing my snacks with you," added Sam. "I hope you accept our apology, but we are best friends again, and we promise to never do that again," says Sue. "I accept your apology, but if that happens again, we are no longer to be friends," explained Dennis. That the three of them gave a big, great hug. A note from Dennis: always treat people the way you want to be treated. Walk, pray, and slay. The end.
Hey, thank you for that. Now, tell me, in this best friends club, someone did something that was violating to the friendship. What did they do, and how did they get to forgiveness and get back together?
Well, on the first page, they all was together. They used to have fun together, go to the playground together, and share their snacks together. But the next day, when she had her overalls on, they used to talk about her hair, her clothes, but they didn't share their snacks with each other because Dennis said on the first page that all four of them was in the best friend group, but the next day, Sue, Sam, and Sarah said they was in the best friends club. But when she started performing, they were like, wow, she's a great singer, a great dancer, and her hair is pretty, and she got a beautiful dress. But one of them still didn't want to be friends with her, and that was Sue. So she didn't want to be friends with her because her hair was still up because they wanted to be in a group together so they could both have their hair down. But after she told her mother said, treat them how you want to be treated. You're the queen, you're the star, you're my superstar. You will always be my superstar. Then, when she got done singing, Sam and Sue came down there to apologize with when how they was treating her, how mean they was, and treated how they was treating themselves because they was not how they were when they first met. So yeah, and her dress actually looks like this.
Oh, that's nice. So they all was on the stage.
Well, I'll say Sarah, Sue, and her other friends, they was in backstage because they already performed. This was the last one to perform. So
And what's the name of the one who had her hair up and everybody else had their hair down?
Dennis,
Dennis?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Well, very good. Well, I'm gonna read a few pages of the book I started yesterday, and then Vicky will go, and then we'll come back to you. You remember,
Okay. Yes,
as
ma'am.
as brave as you, Jason Reynolds is the author. Now this is supposed to be a Schindler Family Book Award. They received the Schindler Family Book Award. Okay, well, anyway, yesterday they had just made it to their grandparents' house. Okay, so Benny didn't go straight to sleep, even though that was what his parents wanted. Instead, he stared out the window like, Mom, for about an hour, peering into the darkness, thinking about his girlfriend, Shelley, and his best friend, Aaron. He wondered if they were going to do all the things they always did in the summer, like play in the hydrant and buy rocket pops from the ice cream man without him. If they were going to miss his rants and his knowledge about random animals and insects, and if Shelley would be able to spot a bed bug like he had taught her, he wondered if Aaron would try to impress Shelley with his back flips. Girls love dudes who can do back flips. And if she eventually fall to his flipping charms and kissing, of course, if she did, it would be a loner kiss. Jenny decided a kiss to make up for the fact that he wasn't there. Nothing real. Jenny sat there thinking about all these things, annoyed by his brother's snoring, listening to his parents not say a word, totally unsure about what was going to happen if they finally got to Virginia. The only thing he did know for sure was why they were going to the country in the first place, why he and Ernie had to spend a whole month away from Brooklyn for the first time ever. It all had to do with Jamaica. Well, really, it all had to do with their parents not saying a word. They were having problems. which Jenny knew was just parent talk for maybe, possibly, probably divorcing. They said they needed some time to try to figure it all out. When his mother first told him about the problems, all Jenny could think about was what his friend Marsh Brown told him when his parents got divorced and how she never saw her father again. When he asked his mother about whether he was going to have to choose which parent he wanted to live with, or if he and Ernie were going to have to split up too. All she said was, no matter what, me and your daddy love you both, always. But that didn't really answer the questions, which made it clear in Jenny's mind that figuring it out, which by the way was supposed to happen in Jamaica, the first vacation his parents were taken without him and Ernie, really meant figuring it out, figuring out which parent get which kid, which of course meant this will probably also be the last vacation his parents would be taken without them. And it got Jenny thinking about who he want to live with, mom or dad, which led to him scribbling a list in the dark. Really two lists. Living with dad, pro, I'd be safe from fires and thieves. Con, dad works all the time and is never home. Con, so probably wouldn't be safe from fires and thefts. That is so funny. Bro, I can watch scary movies. Con, dad can't cook. That's a big one there. Con, dad stinks, stinks almost all the time because of his work. Living with mom. Bro, she can cook real good. Bro, she never stinks. Oh, Con, she won't let me watch scary movies. Con, I don't know if she can protect me from fire and thieves. Con, which means I have to protect her, and I don't know karate. Well, eventually, after going back and forth to his mind about who he wants to live with, and mentally jot his thoughts in the notebook, the smooth, dark road hypnotized Jenny, finally coercing him to sleep. He hadn't even realized he had drifted off until he was awakened by the sound of tree limbs scraping the sides of the car. The Honda was bumping its way up a hill. Hold on. I have to call you back. Um, sorry, I thought my phone was off, y'all. Okay. He hadn't even realized he had drifted off. The Honda was bumping. Okay, it was still dark. Dad had his window cracked, letting some air in, and he had changed the music from slow jams to 90s hip hop. Vic, you know what 90s hip hop is? I know, but I just wondered, did you know? You laugh, so I don't know.
I don't
We,
know what that is either. So night of hip hop?
you know,
No, I don't.
90s hip hop like Queen Latifah, you know,
Oh, Queen
from the
Latifah?
90s.
Oh,
Yeah, Tupac, Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G.
I
Okay.
I I knew the musicians. I know the musicians, but I never didn't know what the name of it was. I knew
Okay.
Queen Latifah, you know,
Yeah,
Tupac,
yeah,
Biggest, Mr. Big, Biggest
yeah.
Small,
Big. Yeah.
Jay-Z, yeah, Lazy E.
Huh? Oh, you know Easy.
Oh, I said Easy E, Snoop Dogg.
uh,
So that was the called the Lazy. Oh, I mean, okay.
the 90s hip hop, yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah,
90s hip hop.
that was before Tyler was born.
Okay, so that's what they call the 90s hip
she
hop.
like,
Okay, Easy E, Biggest Small, Snoop Dogg.
uh, okay, here we go, Jenny muttered, wiping sleep from his eyes. He looked out the window but couldn't see anything except branches. The car dipped and bumped every few seconds as Dad kept slamming on the brakes to avoid potholes. Jesus, this road is a mess, he fumed. Turned the radio off so he could concentrate. Jenny quickly patted the space beside him on the seat, searching for his pen. Once he found it, he flipped to the next page of his notebook. Does turning the radio off help you drive better? You know, he liked to Google stuff. Jenny write stuff down so he could Google it. He crawled as Ma turned to him and flashed a sleepy smile. Yes, honey, we're here. The skin on her face looked heavy, and Jenny wondered if she had slept at all during the ride. Actually, the skin on her face had been looking heavy for a few months since she since her and Dad had the big blow up where she screamed, like scream, and told him that all his time went to work and the boys, but he could never seem to make time for her. Ernie and Jenny had been outside having a snowball fight, and down the street, Johnny, known for being a jerk, had covered a quarter in snow and ziggled it at Jenny, zapped him straight in the eye. Ernie had run over to check on him when he saw the corn, most of the snow knocked off. He commenced to caroticizing down the street, Johnny, all the way down the street. Meanwhile, Jenny had run inside, his palm to his eye, and stepped right into Ma and Dad's crossfire over how she was feeling neglected. The swelling around Jenny's eyes eventually went away, but the heavy on Mom's face never did. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there and let you read, um, Vicky.
All right, I'll read some more.
You reading A Time for Mercy. Which one?
Yeah,
How
time for
many books
mercy.
has John Grisham wrote? Which one is
Uh,
this?
oh, let me see. He has written, I think he has written about 10 books. And this one is number 7, because this is the latest one. Not the latest one, it's written about 10 books. And now some he's written under false names, but under John Grisham, this is number 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he had another a pen name.
He has a pen name. And I got to find out what his pen name is. I may have to find one of his pen name. But yeah, here's a pen name. But under his John Grisham, he has like this is his 7th book under John Grisham. Well, I take that back.
You see the list in the book?
This is his 19th book under John Grisham.
19?
19. Well, this right here I
Woo!
got right now is number 20. But he's had 19 prior. And under a pen name, he has under a pen name, he has 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know nothing about him having a pen name.
Yeah. And he has a pen name, yeah. So let me get some more. Let me get some more of the time for mercy.
This is a mystery too.
Yeah.
Where is it set?
And Canton. Well,
Wow.
he calls it Clanton, but it's really Canton.
Oh, this one is
Is
set
it
in Clinton, which is Canton too.
right? This is Canton. That's what he calls it as Canton, but he uses the name because all of his books are centered around the area, Canton. And in that location, all of his books are centered around in that area. And they all are from, as they say, the SIP. All of them are set in Mississippi. Joseph says, You you are my only boyfriend, Stuart. I've told you that 1,000 times. Why can't you trust me? Because you are a liar. I've caught you in a lie several times before. Remember, you credited you. I forget that word. Remember your credit card, you bitch. Come on, Stuart. Last year we both walked through we both got through it. He lunged and grabbed her waist with his left hand and swung hard at her face with an open hand and he slapped so loud, slapped the sound out of her, sickening the flesh. She screamed in pain and shock. She had told herself to do nothing but scream because her kids were upstairs behind locked doors, listening, hearing all. Stop, Stu, she shrieked and grabbed her face and tried to catch her breath. No more time. I promised you. I am leaving. I swear I will. He noted with laughter and says, Oh, really? And where you going? You think, and where you going, you think, you slut? Back to the camper? In the woods, you gonna live there? In your car? He yawned, and with her waist and with her wrist around her new around her through her forearm and neck and grove into her ear. You ain't got no place. You had got no place to go, bitch. Not even the trailer park you were in. He sprayed at her. He sprayed her saliva along the rank of cold and whiskey, and bare her at bare her at one ear. She jerked and tried to free herself, but the thrust, her arms up and almost to her shoulders, as if she was trying mightily to escape. She suddenly helped by She suddenly helped again by screaming, "You're breaking my arm, Stu. Please stop." He lowered her arm an inch. The two that pressed her tighter. Lowered her arm an inch or two, but pressed them tighter. He hissed into her ear, "Where you going? Where you going? You got the roof over your head, the food on your table, and a room. You got those two rotten kids of yours. You are going to talk about them. I don't think so." You stiffened and wiggled and tried to break free and was powerful with break free, but he was a powerful man. And he was a powerful man with crazy temper. "You're breaking my arms, dude. Please let go." Instead, he yanked harder again and again, and she yelled, kicked back into her and kicked her back into her bare, kicked back into her bare heels and hit her. Instead, he yanked hard, and she yelled again and kicked back her heels and said in his hand, and you said what? And said, and hit his head on, spun around, and with her left elbow, caught him in his ribs. She stunned him for the second and did nothing, and no danger allowed her to pry herself free. She locked herself over in the kitchen chair. More noise frightened her and her children. He charged like a mad bull, slapped her in the throat, pinned her in the wall, and dug his fingernails into her flesh of her neck. Josie couldn't yell, couldn't swallow or breathe, and couldn't swallow and breathe the mad glow. His eyes were their last sight. There was a moment. Let's see. There was a moment that would finally kill her. She tried to kick and missed, and had a flash in her and threw her head right against the wall, square on the chin, and knocked her down on the floor and clumped up and landed on her back with her leg spread apart. I'm gonna stop right there. Meredith?
Is it your turn, Charlie Ann?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Next, I'll be reading Judy B. Jones and the Meanie Jim's Birthday by Barbara Park.
Charlie Ann, what's the name of it?
Judy B. Jones and the Meanie Jim's Birthday.
Hold it up for me so I can type it in the chat. Judy B. Jones and the meaning of Jim's birthday. Okay, I get it. Thank you.
Chapter 1. My name is Judy B. Jones. The B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice. I just like B, and that's all. B is my best letter. On on the on account of my favorite food starts with that guy. Its name is its name is a birthday cake. We had that delicious stuff at school today. That's because Penn Allen stuff was turned 6 years old and his mother bought chocolate cake and chocolate ice cream and chocolate milk to room 9. She is a chocolate nut, I think. The party was very fun, except for Pringle and the pub got all wound up. And he put cake on his head. And then he laughed until milk came out of his nose. That is called nose milk. I told my best friend named Lilia. Lilia is a little lady. Ew, she said. I wish I didn't even see that nose milk, cause now my stomach feels upset and I can't eat the rest of my cake. Me too, I said. Now I can't eat the rest of my cake too. And so I will throw both our cakes in the trash can for us. Trash can for us. Then I pick up our cake and I hurry up to the trash can. I look all around me very carefully. When I quick duck behind the trash can and I stuff both those cakes right in my mouth. I rumble my tummy real happy. Now I need in some milk to waste it down with. I said that when I saw some milk standing on a table all by itself, I pick it up and drink it and it's all gone. I said, that hit the spot. Just then I heard a voice, Judy B. Jones, why are you out of your seat? It was my teacher. Her name is Miss. She has another name too, but I just like Miss. And that's all. Miss has eyes like a hawk. What are you doing over there? She asked. I stare. I'm staring. I'm sharing people cake and milk. I explained. Except for that, excuse me. Except for that, are aren't actually here at that moment. Miss rolled her eyes way back her head. I smiled very sweet. Guess what? When I have my birthday party, I'm going to bring cake and milk too, I said. Plus, also, I might bring a little bitty wing casserole. Case that will be a nice change of place, I think. Just then, I skip up a palace and puff mother. Excellent cake, madam. Mine complete to the chef, I said. Then me and her did a high five. Only she didn't actually put her hand out. And so, mostly I slapped her on the arm. After that, I skipped back to my seat. Lucy was finished her chocolate ice cream. She had a chocolate mustache on her lip. I did a frost on her. Lucy, I am surprised at you, I said. You are not eating that ice cream like a little lady. And so I will show you how. Then I dip my spoon into Lucy's ice cream. See, I said, see how I am taking itty bites of this stuff? Only just then, a tiny bit of chocolate ice cream slipped off my spoon and it dropped into Lucy's lap. She jumped out of her chair. Oh no! She yelled. Now look what you did. You spilled ice cream on my brand new dress. And my nanny just about this to me from New York City, and it's cost $95 plus taxes. Mrs. hurried up to my table. She had a wet sponge to clean Lucy's dress. No, don't, Lucy said. You can't put water on this. Your culture's dress is made of stains, and stains is dry clean only. Mrs. made angry eyes at me. I just gulped. Who knew? I said really softly. Then I put my head down on my table and I cover with my arm. Cause that is called lapping load. And lapping load is what you do if you know what's good for you. Chapter 2, tapping on Jim's head. After the party, me and my other best friend roam home on the bus. Her name is Grace. Me and that Grace takes turns sitting next to the window. That is a good sport of us, I think. Excellent, except for sometimes we forgot those turns. It turns. Is. Then we have to sit it with our fists. This time, it was Grace's turn to sit next to the window. Guess what? I didn't even care if you sit there today, I told her, because eating all that cake made me in a happy mood. That Grace smiled. Me too, she said. Eating that cake made me in a happy mood too. Yeah, only you can't be as happy as me, I explained. Cause I had 2 cakes and you just had one. That Grace did a frown. That's okay, Grace. Don't be upset, I said, because when I have my birthday, I will invite you to my house and you can have 2 cakes too. Oh boy, she said. I know, it is oh boy, I said back. Plus also you will get your own very own paper cup with M&Ms inside. Oh, yum, I love M&Ms, said that Grace. Me too, I love M&Ms too. I said, on my account of the chocolate, don't melt on your hand. Just the colors melt on your hand, and that's all. I smiled really big. And here's another good thing. Grace, when you come to my party, you will get your very own party hat and you will play Twister. Plus, also, we will play the game where you shout bingo. Only I kept for getting the names of that. Just then, a mini boy named Jimmy jumped up from his seat. Bingo! Was to Its name is Bingo. What a moron. Who will even want to come to a stupid party like yours? He made his voice real loud so everybody could hear. At my house, I have a cool party. He said, last year my party was named Clowning Around, and we had 2 clowns from the circus and that made balloon animals and did magic tricks. I leaned away close to his face. So I said, I don't even like clowns. Clowns are not normal people. Plus, my very own grandpa, Frank Miller, can make balloon animals too, except for they are all look like winter dogs. Only he worked on it. That Jimmy wasn't even listening to me. He just kept on talking about his party. This year, my party is named Old MacDonald Farm, and a real farmer is bringing a pet zoo right to my front yard, and he's going to bring a lamb and a goat and a Bruno and some rabbits. And he also bring a real pony for us to ride. I put my hands on my waist and yet, yeah, yeah, will too. Bad for you, I said, because I saw all these ponies on TV and ponies pluck up off their backs and then some stumble you into the ground and kill you to the death. And I would even come to your stupid dumb party in Giannisville years. Good, Rome, that Jim. I'm glad because my birthday is coming Saturday, and tomorrow I'll bring invitation to every single person in room 9, but only not to you. You're the only one in the world in my class I will not bring an invitation to, so ever. Then he had a big ha right in my face and he sat back down in his seat. Meanwhile, I just kept on standing there. Cause something had gone a little bit wrong here, I think. I chopped on his head. Yeah, only there's the little thing I didn't actually know you were having a party on Saturday. And so good news. I think I can make it. No, shouted the mini boy. You're not coming. Now go away. On I tap on his hat again. Yeah, only I just kidding about the ponies, I said. They'll hardly even stumble you probably. I don't care. Stop bothering me, he shouted. I stood on my tippy toes and looked at his head. I love your hair today, I said. That Jimmy swat at me. Get away from me, he yelled. You're not coming to my party, and that's final. Just then, a big lump came to my throat. A big lump is what comes from before crying. It hurts to swallow. I sat down and hid my face in my sweater. Darling, I said. Darn it, I said. Cause I think I am really have enjoyed myself at that thing. Then my best friend named Grace put her arms around me and she patted me very real gently. And she let me sit next to the window. I'm gonna read for today because next is chapter 3 and I'll read that tomorrow. I'm done.
We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for reading with us.
No,
Oh, huh?
I'm done with the book.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna start reading on page 14.
Okay.
Okay then. All right. Anyway, the point was Jenny hoped Ma had gotten some sleep on the way to Virginia because the one thing he thought he knew about Virginia, he was right about. It was far, way too far to be awake the whole time. Ernie, on the other hand, had slept the entire trip, was still asleep, his mouth hanging wide open. That made the bottom half of his mouth look like it was melting. His sunglasses lopsided, only covering one eye. Jenny pushed Ernie's leg off him, but it snapped right back as if it were spring loaded. Wake up, Jenny said. We here. Ernie didn't budge. Ern, Jenny cried out loud enough for Ma to hear. She turned around and slapped Ernie's leg. He snapped awake, confused, fixing his shades and the bottom of his t-shirt. As the car approached the top of the hill, the sound of a dog barking came out of nowhere. Jenny pressed his face against the window. Was that grandma and grandpa's dog? What was it doing outside? Did they know it had gotten loose? Was grandpa up this time of night walking it? Ernie, you remember Samantha, dead ex, cutting the engine a minute after crossing the hill? Ernie crammed his neck to see out the window, yearning. He had been to North Hill once before, a long time ago when he was 4. Jenny hadn't come with him because at the time he was still a baby. There was also the last time Dad had been had seen his father. It had been almost 10 years, and Jenny had no idea what that was about. So this was Jenny's first time to North Hill. As a matter of fact, this was his first time really going out of town at all. It took longer to get to his other grandparents' house, his mom parents who lived in the Bronx, than it did to get to Jersey. Jenny had never met Dad's dad, his grandfather, but he had met his grandmother once. She had come to New York to visit when he was much younger, but he didn't remember too much about her except for the fact that she looked like Dad. An old lady version of him, minus the mustache and the beard, and she smelled like soap. Jenny remembered that. Of course, I remember Samantha, Ernie grumbled, his voice groggy from car sleep. He finally moved his legs and sat up. Jenny could hear a dog chain dragging across the ground, then popping when the slack was up. He wasn't usually scared of dogs, and he wasn't really scared of this one either, but it was definitely comforting and weird to know that this Samantha dog was chained up outside in the dark. Dogs left outside in Brooklyn ended up in the pound. We made it. Everybody out, Dad said. And by the time all the car doors opened and Dad had popped the trunk, a light outside the house flickered on. The front door opened and a sharpless shadow filled the doorway like some kind of ghost. The dog, trees, little house, all alone on the top of the hill. This, Jenny thought, was definitely the makings of a scary movie. A kind of scratchy but firm voice called out, Sam, stop all that darn yapping. It was the same kind of scratchy, firm voice that Jenny recognized from all those 3 minute, twice a month phone calls that were always about how he was doing in school and if he was taking care of his brother and his mother, which always confused him because he was the youngest person in the family. Grandma's voice. Now, Grandma stepped onto the porch and closed the screen door behind her. It was a darker shade of dark outside that Jenny was used to, but he could still make out the flowers on Grandma's long night dress. Dad nodded to Jenny and Ernie to get moving and lead the way, lugging the family suitcase to the top step of the porch. He sat it down and wrapped his arms around the old lady tight. Hey, Mama, Lois, she said, kissing him on the cheek, then reaching out for Mom. Took y'all forever to get here. You know how your son is, Mom, said, giving Grandma a quicker hug, then swinging around to make sure Jenny and Ernie were right behind her. 5 miles over the speed limit is against The doggone law. Mom shook her head like she was annoyed at that. A little Jenny saw all the time at home, but Jenny didn't really understand it this time because, well, 5 miles over the speed limit wasn't against the law. Jenny let his mother take his hand as she pulled him forward. Ernie hung back. Well, you can blame me for that one, sugar. I'm the safe one in the family, Grandma said. Now come on in. Come on in. Let me look at y'all, she continued, excited as she opened the door wide. Right this way. Inside the house was just as dark as outside until Grandma finally flipped a switch. A dim, yellowy light came on that made everything look like a smartphone picture with a vintage filter on it. They were in an old kitchen with peely sea green wallpaper, a school bus yellow fridge buzzing as loud as a laundromat washing. Grandma's face was slightly wrinkled, but still looked like Dad's around the eyes. That was all Jenny could see of her face, because everything else was covered up by the flowered gown that looked more like a bedspread with a hole cut out from her head to go through than an extra like line up and let me see, Grandma directed as they shuffled around on the plasticky floor. That city beating on you, ain't it? She said, sizing up. I don't know. Hello?
Meredith?
Yes, I'm so sorry. Hold on, I gotta find my page, my spot. I might have lost it. Give me a second. I think I found it.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh, I'm here now. Lord have mercy. She continued excited as she opened the door wide. Okay. Um, Grandma's face was slightly wrinkled, but still looked like, oh, Dad around the eyes. That was all Jenny could see of her face because everything else was covered up by the flowered gown that looked more like a bed sheet with a hole cut out for her head to go through than an actual nightgown. Mama, I've been up since 9 yesterday morning, he explained, sounding irritated and tired. I know, she said, patting him on the belly. At least you eating well up there. Then she turned to Ma. Thank you for feeding him, dear. My pleasure, Mama. And look at you, my sweet daughter-in-law, Grandma said with a little in her voice while checking Ma out head to toe. Two kids and still look like you in grade school. Ma bit down on her bottom lip for a second before letting herself smile. A little bit of attention goes a long way, Jenny noticed. He also thought Grandma was a liar. He had known lots of girls in grade school, and most of them looked way better than Mom as far as he was concerned, especially Shelley. That's his girlfriend. And look at this cool guy, Grandma said, that's the one with the shades on, moving down the line to Ernie, who of course had his sunglasses on. Ernie Marburg between clenched teeth. Ernie snatched his sunglasses off quick. Huh, it's okay. How are you, Ernie? Grandma said, asking him, giving him a kiss on the cheek. Fine, Ernie muttered. Ma's mad eyeballs all over him. And check out this one here. Getting so big, Grandma finished up, putting her hand on Jenny's head. You remember me, Jenny? She wrapped her arms around him. He could smell the soap, the same soap he remembered her by, the same kind his mother used. Okay, I'm gonna stop there and I'm gonna let you read. Vicky, do you know where you read that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Drew was 2 years older than Kara, his sister, but puberty. He was like most normal children in life changes in life was coming late. He was 16, but smaller for his age and his size, but bothered his sister, who was struggling through another awkward part of her life, part of her search. What was the two what the children did not know yet, they had different fathers. What the two did not know yet, but they had different fathers. And their physical development would never be the same, never be in sync. Heredity aside, at that moment, they were bounding together tightly as two siblings while they were listening to the horror of their mother suffering another beating. The violence was sprung and abusive and more frequent. They were begging Josie just to leave. And she made a promise, but the three of them knew that there was no place to go. She assured them that things would be better. Stu was good. Stu was a good man when he wasn't drinking, and she was determined to love him no matter what. No place to go. Their last home had been an old camper in the backyard of a distant relative who was embarrassed to have them on his property. All three knew that they were surviving life with Stu because he owned a house, owned life with a brick and tin roof, They were not hungry, though they all were painful memories of those days, and they were in school, and their sanctuary became never grateful. There were assured three slow academic progress for Drew, too few friends, and both of them were old. Both of them had old clothes, free lunch lines, but at least school was there away from Stu, and it was safe. Even when even when sober, which meaningfully was most never, he was unpleasant, but presented having support for the children. He was more himself because he had never wanted them, never wanted children. And also because the two prior marriages had not been long after they began. They
Can
were
I ask you a
bullied.
question?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this is a father with two children in the house.
Right.
Is there a
And
mother
he
in the
was
house?
abusive. Huh?
Mother's in the house too.
Yeah, the mother was in the house and the children were her two children. He was an
He
abusive,
was a stepfather
he was a stepfather, correct. And he
who
was
really didn't want
abusive.
children. He didn't want children.
No, he didn't want children. He had been married twice before, but he didn't want children.
Okay.
She stayed with him because he had a house, food, and their children had a bed. She stayed with him thinking that she was gonna get him out, she was gonna make him a better man. So that's where we
Oh,
are now. She was gonna make him a better man, but he was very abusive. And the children were saying how they were living and how they were thriving. So now that's where we are now. And that was why I was slow about getting them together. But I'll pick this up tomorrow. Yeah, because they showing how they were getting together. So
oh, okay then.
how
Well,
much
all
more
right.
time we got?
Oh, we got a few more minutes, but we could actually stop early if you want
Okay.
to, because we are almost at the end anyway. Then that way,
Okay.
everybody is at a stopping point where we can start tomorrow reading where we stopped at. I think that tomorrow we're gonna have some more readers. So what chapter are you on, Tyler, in your book?
know what chapter now?
I'm gonna still read Julie B. Jones.
Oh, okay. What chapter though? You don't know where you stopped?
I stopped at the end of chapter 3.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna be picking up at chapter 4, right?
I got done at chapter 2. I'm going to chapter 3.
Okay. So tell her. She wanted to know.
I'm already unmuted.
Okay. All
I end at chapter 2, so I'm gonna start at chapter 3.
Okay, then you starting at chapter 3, and Vicky, what chapter? I'm on page 20 in my book.
I'm gonna start on chapter. I'm starting on chapter 2 on mine.
You
And
starting on chapter 2?
right.
Okay, then. All right, then. Well, we're in now, and we'll start back up tomorrow at a 2. I wonder will I'll be able to finish this whole book in the we got 8 more days left.
Oh,
I
I'll
might
try to
be,
get okay.
huh?
I was
How
gonna
many
say
pages? Go ahead, Vic.
I was gonna say I'm gonna try to get. I'm gonna try to get to the end of this book. So yeah, I
How many
have to.
pages? What page are you on?
I am on that. I got a lot of pages, so let me see what page I'm on. I am on page. I am on page 48, 47. Because the first chapter is long. So I'm on page 47. So I've got a ways to go. But I'm gonna and the book. Oh, I'm not gonna finish this. I'm gonna have to try to something else because this book got 600 pages in it. So
Oh,
we may have to try another book there.
okay, yeah,
Because
I know
I
what
don't know if
you
we're gonna
mean.
get the 600 pages read in this one.
Yeah, I should have picked one. Well, this is really not that bad. This one is 400 pages.
Yeah.
But
So
I done get into it, so I want to get to the end because I want to see which one of them is gonna be brave and how this author is describing being brave in this book.
so my difference is I got a mystery from John Grisham, and that is I haven't really gotten deep into what he was talking about. But Grisham is a lawyer, and that's the kind of book that he writes about. So when I get really deep into that, then that'll go by a little smoother. But
But all of his books are murder mysteries.
yeah,
Oh, this a murder mystery. I see what you're
yeah.
saying. Yeah. Okay. Well, let us know if we had to close our ear. All right. Well, all
Yeah,
right. Well,
all the murder mystery. So what now?
now I said, let us know if me and Thailand or whoever had to close our ears.
All the murder. Yeah.
Okay. All right, then. Well, Thailand, thanks for reading with us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay,
All
bye.
right. Bye
There it
bye.
is.
All right.
Meredith.
All right. All right, girl.